All right, we're doing scales with sharps. These are scales that use sharps in them. And a scale is something like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So it starts on do, it ends on do, and for right now it has 8 notes. If I were to say, let's do a C major scale, this scale would start on C and it would end on C. If we were to do a F major scale, the scale would start on F and end on F. Now to start out, we need to do something called the cycle of fifths. Here it is right here. The cycle of fifths. And what that is it's going through the musical alphabet and writing every fifth note. So we're going to start on C, which is right here, and we're going to count up 5 notes from C, including C, which means C will be our first note. So we go C, that's our first one, D, E, F, G. Our fifth note is G, so we write that down. Now 5 up from G, with G being our first note, is G, A, B, C, D. So we end on D there. 5 up from D, D, E, F, G, A. 5 up from A, I like to do this on my fingers. A, B, C, D, E. 5 up from E, E, F, G, A, B is your fifth note. 5 up from B, B, C, D, E, F. Now this one's tricky because it's not actually an F, it's an F sharp. Once we look at the B major scale, you can totally see why it's an F sharp. It's a little bit backwards because we're learning this and then we're learning how to do our scales, but it will all make sense. So 5 up from F sharp is F, G, A, B, and that's a C sharp. There we go, right there. Okay, so that is our cycle of fifths. And what I like to do, which will help out later, is I like to write numbers underneath this cycle of fifths. So under the C, I write a 0. Under the G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That will help us later on because that will tell us how many sharps are in each of the keys. For example, in the key of C major, there are 0 sharps. In the key of G major, there is 1 sharp. In the key of D major, there are 2 sharps, and so on. Okay, now we need to figure out what those sharps are. And to do that, we use this saying right here. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. The first letter of each of these words gives us the order of sharps that we need to use. So let's just take them and put them on the staff for now. So our first one is an F. So we want to do an F sharp. Now sharp looks like a hashtag or a tic-tac-toe board. And we want the middle square of the tic-tac-toe board to go where the note would go. So our F is going to be on the top line, which means the middle square of the tic-tac-toe board needs to go through that sharp. This one, I think I could improve on that, so let me try that one more time. There we go. There's the F sharp. So that's our F from father. Now we're on C. So our C is on our third space. So we do our sharp again with the middle square of the tic-tac-toe board going through the C. Our next one is a G, as in goes. Our G is up at the top here. There it is right there. Next one is D. That's on our 4th line. Right there. And then we have an A. This one's a bit different. So this one goes down onto the second space. Right there. Then an E, which is on our 4th space. And our last one is a B, which is 3rd line. So there we have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. So now we have two different pieces of information, and we need to figure out how to put them together. Our next section, we're going to flip back and forth a bit between the next two pages. Okay, so here's our first question. How many sharps are in the key of E major? So if we go back to our list here, we look at A, which is right here. How many sharps? There are 3 sharps in the key of A major. So we can put 3 in there. And let's go through and do the first part of all these questions. How many sharps are in the key of D major? So if we go to D, which is right here, we can see underneath there's a 2. So there are 2 sharps in the key of D major. Our next one, how many sharps are in the key of E major? We go back here to E, and we find that there are 4 sharps. So we write a 4 there. How many sharps in the key of F sharp major? We look back and we find out that there are 6. So we can write 6 in. How many sharps are in the key of B major? When we look back, we see a 5. So we can put 5 in there. And how many sharps are in the key of C sharp major? And we see that that is 7. Okay, now for the next part of these questions, it says, what are these sharps? So we need to figure out what they are. This is when we use our Father Charles thing. So we have Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Okay, so let's start with A major. A major has 3 sharps. So we take the first 3 sharps. That means we're going to take F, C, and G. So we write F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. The first 3. We always start at the beginning, and we always take the first amount. Okay, the second one, how many sharps are in the key of D major? There are 2. And these sharps are F sharp and C sharp. We always take the first 2. So we have F sharp and C sharp. Our next one, how many sharps are in the key of E major? There are 4, so we take the first 4. F sharp, Father, C, Charles, G, goes, and D, down. Our next one has 6 sharps, so we take the first 6. Father, Charles, goes, down, and ends. Our next one has 5 sharps, so we take the first 5. Father, Charles, goes, down, and. And our last one, our C sharp major, has 7 sharps, which means we use all of them. So we do it. Father, Charles, goes, down, and ends battle. Make sure to put a sharp after each of those notes so that we know which ones go where. For this next part, we're going to practice putting the sharps on the staff and the notes. So our first question is about A major. Now, if we look back at our first question here, we've already done part of the work. We know that there are 3 sharps, and the sharps are F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. First thing you want to do is to put in your key signature. So we have your F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Now, because we're doing A major, we want to start on an A note. So we'll just do these in whole notes. So we put in our A, we go A, B, C, D, E, F. Oh, that F is not in the right spot there. E, F, G. We need to use a little ledger line, and we do our A. And that's it. That is our A major scale. Now we can go on to D major here. We can see D major is the same as our second question up here. So we've already done part of the work. We know that there are two sharps and they're F and C. So first we write in our sharps F and C. Now because we're doing D major, we want to start on the D and end on a D. So we find our D, we go D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D. So we've begun and ended on a D, and there are 8 notes. Okay, now we're on E major, which is the same as our third question up here. So we already know that there are 4 sharps, and we know that they're F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. So we write in our sharps, F, C, G, D. And because we are doing E major, we start on an E, and we work our way up. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. All right, let's go on to our last page here. We have 3 more scales to do. Okay, so for this one, we want to write the scale of F sharp major. This is the same as question 4. So we already know that there are 6 sharps, and we have our sharps listed here. So let's put these on the staff. So F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp. Were there 6? Yes, 6. Okay, now we're doing F sharp major, which means we need to start on an F sharp. So here's our F, and it's automatically sharpened because of our key signature that we put in. So we have F sharp, G, which is also sharpened, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, and F sharp. And then we have 8 notes. All right, now we're going to write the scale of B major. That's the same as question 5 right here. So we have 5 sharps, and they're F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. So let's write that in here. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp. There we go. Those are our 5 sharps. Now we want to start on B. We can start on any B. It could be high or low. I'm going to choose the low B for right now, which means I'm starting below the first ledger line right here. So we have B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and B. Okay, last scale here, C sharp major. If we look back, this is the same as question 6, 7 sharps. So let's write them in. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. For this one, we want to start on a C sharp, which is already in the key signature. So there's our C, and it's already sharpened. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and there's our C sharp. And we are done.